Have you ever wondered if you could just cut to the chase and get to the core of what it really takes to raise identity driven kids who know who they are and who lead instead of follow in the world we're sending them into? This call today in our school community was like that. Today's video is a sneak peek inside our coaching call. I want you to see the whole conversation happen because I want you to be able to see yourself achieving these same things. In today's call, we talked about how to give young kids a vocabulary for what they're feeling and what they're dealing with so they can take some responsibility for that. How to hand kids back their problem, and that works on kids of any age. Oftentimes the issue is that we're actually working far harder on someone's problem than they are, which is why the problem is still here. Because you can't solve a problem until you have one. Another thing that's in here that I'm super excited about, and there were a number of them, just watch all the way through to the end, because there were secret turning points for all of healthy parenting that our beautiful mamas are stumbling into themselves as they work through these truths that we've given them in the school community. You guys, I can't believe what God is doing. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope this touches you and impacts your life. Keep watching. Y'all, talk to us. The 4 out of 6 of us have been together for 2 hours now. Just loving what God's put on the table today. So we want to hear from you, Jennifer and Kayla, how it's going, what you've been thinking about, if anything's working, if anything's not working, what the next thing you need is. How's it going?
So I was thinking I want to say it was Miranda who said it last week about how she got her kids to instead of trying to fix the problems for them. I believe it was her.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of trying to fix the problems, she would just sit there and talk to them and let them know that their feelings are, okay, but also how can they work it out together? And then that she also prays with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out a way to get my 3-year-old, soon to be, he'll be 3 on Friday, so he's basically 3, get him to acknowledge certain things because he is 3. He doesn't quite have the recognition just yet fully. It's there. I just don't know how to make it from a 6 and 8-year-old standpoint to a 5 and 3-year-old or 5 and 3-year-old standpoint.
Sure. To translate for him.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're going to have to learn his language.
Okay.
And he'll tell it to you.
Okay.
He knows his language. Yeah. So you're going to have to get really good at asking questions that help him give you his vocabulary.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So you could say, if that happened to me, I'd be feeling really angry. How are you feeling? And see what he says. He'll call that something else probably. See what he says.
Yeah, he says everything is angry. He feels angry about a lot of things. He says, "Oh, that makes me angry." He tells me these things.
That's very interesting because many men who have a low emotional IQ, the only feeling they say they have is angry.
Okay.
And then as their emotional maturity increases, they realize they've been having other feelings. They just,
got it.
Anger was the easiest one to identify and to relate to.
Yes.
So that's fascinating. That already at 3, he's chalked all the feelings up to mad.
Yeah, he definitely, that has been a thing since early age. And now he is able to vocalize it. And so he'll go, "Oh, that makes me angry." And so I'm like, okay, I hear you. And we try to work through it. But he does know self-control. So, we do try to I'm trying to figure out how to put all of these things together.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like he needs a limit. So he's going to be a lot more invested in giving you his language and working out his own problem when it's his problem. So right now it's possible it still belongs to Sissy or you, the actual problem. No one else, he doesn't have a problem with how he's doing this. You might, if it was you, if you were angry and hurting people, you would have a real problem with that and you would want to do something about it.
Right.
He So you can't project that onto him or you don't have that's your language. This is not
Right.
his world.
Right.
He does not care about that
Mm-mm.
until it costs him more than it costs the other people. So
Yeah.
you want to know how to solve it. Right now, he doesn't want to know how to solve it. So that's
No.
probably where the real breakdown is happening, is that he's actually not working on the problem that you're working on.
No, not at all. Okay, because
You
I do
are.
feel like I'm fighting a losing battle here. That's literally where it's been.
Yeah, because your will is to see the thing change, and his will is to keep doing whatever he wants with as little friction as possible.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
will, your will is not aligned.
No. And so then what do we do?
Well, he needs a problem.
Okay.
So
So like,
what's he doing that you're trying to fix?
okay, for instance, he will, this is just one of the situations. This is the easiest one. If Zara tells him no to toy that he wants, he will
Mhm.
take it from her and take off
Mm-hmm.
and run as fast as he can. And then I'm like, and she gets upset.
Mm-hmm.
He's laughing.
Yep.
And it's like this go around consistently. And in those moments, I'm like, Ezra, that wasn't very nice. You wouldn't like it if someone took a toy from you.
Ah,
Like
yes.
that would not be very fun. You would be very like, how would that make you feel? He goes, sometimes he'll tell me sad or angry. And I'm like, okay, well, that's how Sissy feels right now. Like she doesn't feel happy right now because you're taking something from her. You know what you're supposed to do. And so he'll go and he says, I'm sorry for taking, and he'll give it back.
Yeah.
But then it happened all over again.
Yes. So he did not do that because he's growing or becoming more aware of others, or that's not why he did that. You tell me why you think he fixed it.
Because I told him to.
Yes. Yes. Yep. So here's like, okay, zoom out, big picture.
Okay.
We're raising kids who do what's best. That's what love is. What's best for both parties,
Okay.
because they know what that is on the inside.
Okay.
And even when it's uncomfortable, we've decided to do what's best because we know what it is on the inside. Next level is because we're hearing the Lord and doing what he says. First level is because I know what it is on the inside. And even if it's uncomfortable, I'm going to do the right thing.
Okay.
They're the kids we're raising who will set culture, not be prey to culture, right?
Right.
If we raise kids who do what we want them to do, we've raised kids who do what other people want them to do.
Okay. Because that also, I understand that too, because even in the relationship between him and his sister, like she'll say something and ask, like, as let's do this, and he'll do it, not realizing that he's just doing it, but she understands the concept. He does not.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to get him to a place where he has to go inside and go, how am I contributing to what's happening right now? And what do I need to do differently? That's inside stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If I had had those skills when I was 16 and in painful relationship with my boyfriend that was painful over and over and over again, and I'd had the skills and the training and the equipping and the love to say, how am I contributing to this pain I'm causing myself right now? And what do I need to do differently?
Okay.
I would have opted out of that relationship and pursued safe, healthy friendships, right?
Right.
I didn't have that though. The reason I did the right things was to look good in my Christian community, keep my parents off my back, make people think I was somebody I wasn't. Outside reasons.
Mm.
So you want him going inside and going, I don't like what's happening to me right now, that's going to sound, you're going to hate that part. While he expresses that he hates what's happening to him, that's the part you're going to have to work through
Yeah.
in yourself, because that's going to be ugly. And then,
Okay.
because he didn't want to do this. And then he's going to start to wonder, what did I do to put myself in this room by myself?
Okay. Yeah.
And I wonder what I need to do to stay out of here.
Mm-hmm. And that's one
But
of the
that's
things
after
that,
he pushes you 20 times to change your mind about what's happening to him. So don't expect that
right,
right away. That's where we're going. Yeah.
right.
Yep.
And he does tell me, like, when we do use that as a form of like, okay, now we go to the room. Like, now you need to have some time alone. I
Sure.
go to him and I ask him, I'm like, Ezra, what happened?
Yeah.
Why are you sitting here? And he'll say sometimes, I don't know. I'm like, and then I rephrase the question and then he'll
Yeah.
tell me what happened. I'm like, okay, what can we do to make this better so you don't have to keep coming back to your room? And so that is in the conversation. I
Yep.
guess I just need to be more consistent with it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
good. Yeah. And he doesn't the highest level is actually going to be that you're not going to explain this to him, that you're going to trust that he knows. He knows. And so he can come out when he's willing to be decent,
Hmm.
but here's how I say this to my kids. I don't let people hang out with my daughters who are mean to them. I don't care who that is.
Mm,
My daughters are precious. And I'm going to get between someone who's going to put hands on them and them.
yeah,
I'm seeing this to my son. I'm
right.
like, are we clear? Like, I'm your mama. I'm also her mama. And you are
Hmm.
someone right now who isn't allowed to be around my kids.
Mm,
And he might start thinking about the mess he made and how he can clean it up, right?
yeah,
But you
okay.
want him to be doing all the thinking while you've done yours and you're
Yeah.
telling him about it. Hey, guess what? For me, nobody touches my kid that way. Absolutely not. Nope. Sorry. And you're not actually invested in his problem. You're invested as his trainer and his mentor and his support and his equiper and his safe place, but you are not invested in solving him getting out of his room. You got to
Yeah.
let him sit with that and want to work his way out of it and ask you questions. How do I get to play with Sissy again? Is the best question he could probably come up with. And then you go, that is a great question. Now we're all in celebration. You go, let's brainstorm.
So if he says I want to go play with Zara, then
Yeah.
then like that's the same, is that the same question or
Oh
is
yeah.
that
Hey, oh, that's funny. I don't let people play with my daughter who takes stuff from her. That'd be crazy. I'm not gonna do that. She's little. I like her. It's my baby. So you talk about you.
okay. Okay.
So you're gonna become a whole person in this equation, and he's gonna have to rise to the occasion and also become a whole person because he's in there.
Got it. That is amazing because I never, ever, ever thought of this like that. Because then in my head, I was always thinking, I don't want to ever play favoritism and I don't know what
Right.
to do in those situations. And so, like,
They're
it
both your
can,
favorite.
yes. And so I can go both ways, like, depending on like whatever she's doing, same for whatever he's doing.
100%. And if you don't catch it, you don't catch it. But if you see it, when my kids are at school, I'm not playing referee. This is not about
Yeah.
me. This is not about me being the middleman between my kids all the time.
Yeah.
That's a job I cannot do. So I've recognized in honesty what is my role really here is when I see, oh, you better believe if I see it. My kids are at the park in the neighborhood with neighborhood kids at the playground. I don't see that stuff.
Yeah.
They bring it home. Hey, I saw that.
Yeah.
Not on my watch. And that's just me being me.
Yeah.
So the beauty is that you being you is what your kids really need.
Okay. Okay. I got a lot of
Right?
searching to do. I got a lot of searching to do.
Yeah. Kayla, you are so fun. This is so fun because you're so hungry and you're doing it.
Literally, like, yes. I'm like, tell me how to do these things because in my head, everything was so much different the way that I would parent.
Yes.
Like, of course, like you before you have kids, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, blah, blah, blah. And then you have your kids, not knowing who they are gonna be, not knowing what they're gonna be, or and then it's like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
well, I wasn't prepared for this. And I romanticized this. And now, and I know I want to do things differently for my parents. So it's like, what do I do? And like, you hear the terms like, they're a blank slate, you can do whatever. I'm like, yeah, but even still, that's even scarier to me because they are a blank slate. Like, that's so much more responsibility that you have for them.
Terrifying
It
responsibility.
is terrifying.
But here's the truth. The word says that we were fearfully and wonderfully made in our mother's womb, and we are not a blank slate. That your kids came with a whole set of uniqueness and calling and work set apart, predestined ahead of time for them to do beautiful things they're going to go do and be in the world. God decided all of that before they got to you. So your job is like teaching a lion how to operate in fierceness and meekness all at once and change the world with just by being exactly who they are. And that means that you have to go on that journey so that you can get, I can't give to you what I'm giving you had I not been on this road, right?
Right.
And so you can only give them where you've been. And so God gives us our children to press us into, if we're paying attention, if we're awake to Him and to love and to truth, that we will recognize I currently am not present enough. I currently am not myself enough to raise little world changers who are present and who are themselves, who are full of God and letting Him on display, Him in them in that very unique way that only they will bring to the world. That means I have to level that up. And our kids are our wake-up call. Our kids, they are our walking invitation to become who we really are so that we can bring them down that path. And
That's incredible.
How old are your kids?
Zara, well, okay, so Ezra will be 3 on Friday and Zara will be 5 next Friday.
So you caught this message from heaven real early, real quick. It takes most of us a lot longer to recognize I don't have enough God in me, and I am not enough of who I am to lead them into all the potential I can dream up in my heart for who they are. It takes most of us a lot longer. I have so many moms come to me. Do you know who we get the most attention that we get online is from women with children who are grown, who didn't have what we could give them today. They didn't have it when their kids were little, and they're crushed. They see our stuff and they're like, I wish I had known to find you. I wish I had known to find that. I wish I had listened to the Lord about this. I wish I had known what you're saying when my babies were little, because they know now that they watched it all play out. Now they know it was the truth. And you found out when your kids are 3 and 5, which is incredible of you. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is great because it is something that has been on my heart. Even like shortly after my dad passed away, I'm like, I know that I don't have what I need. And I have been looking for something like this. I say it all the time. Every time I'm like, I have been looking for something exactly like this. This is a gift from heaven all the way, all the way.
So thrilled. Yay. So thrilled. I'm half surprised and half not because Jesus just talks to me in secret, like, no, you ain't done. Go find the moms. Get your butt out there. So I'm surprised, not surprised. Very, very happy though. This is so awesome. Yay. Jennifer and Sarah, if you've got thoughts, we would love to hear them and support you. Let's start with Jennifer.
Oh, I'm just wiping my tears away as I listen to the conversation because everything you say is always gold and right on the money. And I've just been listening to the Holy Spirit all week. Just asking Him why I do things I do. You know, there's just been a lot of one second, but okay. There's just been a lot of selfishness in my life. And you do things for reasons that you don't think are affecting anybody.
I had 2 million. I had 2 million.
Sorry, guys.
And
can you give me just a minute to finish this call?
And then I got all the way down to 30.
Thank you. I'll come check it out.
It was at 1, but you know how it got.
And so,
yeah, pray for it.
I just going through things of why I do what I do, it's still really hard just to address it. Like, but I don't, you know, you just operate out of your flesh, and to stop and realize why do I do the things I do? I'm still trying to figure a lot of that out, but I still think it mostly comes from a lack of receiving love as a child. So it's hard to give love even to my kids. And that sounds so sad to say. But like you said, what you don't have, you can't give. And there's just so many wounds that are being healed or just being worked through right now, with my husband and with my mother. So everything, it's like the Lord's letting everything come to the surface right now.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, which one do I want to work on right now?
Yeah.
So I just listened to the things you said last week a lot. Like, I want so bad for my kids not to go through what I went through. But looking back on the 9 years that I've had with my oldest child, I've done it out of a law of legalism and never meaning to, but that's all I knew.
Totally.
If we just do the right thing, if we just love the Lord God, and if we just did it, and that only gets you so far. So that's what I'm finding out, that I've just been doing for a long time and not letting the Lord be my all in all.
Jennifer, this is the mom. These patterns are as powerful as chemical addictions. And they work chemically in a very similar way in your brain. And you're the mom who is waving her hand and saying, I'm checking myself in. It stops here. We're not going to keep going that way. And you know that it's going to make you less of what you wish you were for a minute. And doing that work is so very brave in so many ways. So if you're going to unplug the old way, everybody around you who has had you be something to them that you are no longer going to be, they're going to be very unhappy. And on the other side is a life where you get to be you for them, which is the gift God intended. And they get to rise up and be them, not just for them, but they're going to turn around and be that for you too. And that's a relationship worth having with your kids.
Yes.
Oh, man. I commend you. I know it's so hard right now. I hope you feel it deep in your bones that you're doing it. This is it.
I do.
This is the path.
It is. It is trying to stay off the path of you messed up again, that legalistic mentality, and stay on the path of grace. That if I can't keep pushing forward, if I keep beating myself up, and really just letting him love me. Like I was just reading some scriptures, and honestly, I've just been like envisioning myself as this infant and just letting the Lord hold me and wipe away all this stuff that I thought of myself, or even memories, just, all the things of the past, and letting him tell me what the truth is.
Jennifer, you are a brave mom. That's it. Kira, I can see you glowing. If you have thoughts, you are welcome to say them. So beautiful, you guys. I want you to know it never stops feeling like such a privilege to hear these things come out of your hearts and minds and mouths. This is like, what an honor to just to be here, listening, watching. Wow. Christ in you, the hope of glory, and we all get to see it. Oh my goodness. Kira, did you have something you wanted to say? Nope. You're just taking it in. Sarah,
I'm just gleaming.
go. Just basking. Yeah, it's the best, hey? You're beaming. It's so fun. Sarah, do you have thoughts you want to share before we wrap? Oh, you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so encouraged by the past calls, like going back and listening to them. Sorry, I'm outside and there's this huge truck driving by. But I kind of started back over from the truth, like from the very beginning, to redo everything because I just feel like I needed it to sink in a little more. And
Yeah.
went over the self-control one, and I feel like it just made way more sense the second time around. And I just felt so convicted and also empowered of all the ways that I do have control, that I'm not doing what I can with those things. Like I'm not taking control of them. And I've just felt really trapped and kind of like stuck with my kids. Like they're just walking all over me and everything. And just thinking about what do I have autonomy over? And realizing there's so many things that I do have autonomy over that I'm not picking up and changing. And so that's really encouraging, but also terrifying. But I wanted to say I was really blessed by the last couple calls when y'all were sharing about giving up things, screen time, or just your own like self-control choices. And wanted to share, I was journaling last night and made a list of all the things. The passage came to mind, the throw off every weight that hinders and run our race with endurance, keeping our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. And I just wrote down, like, what are the things that are hindering me, and like ask the Holy Spirit, like, what are the weights that you want me to put down? And then a second list of like, what are the things I'm fixing my eyes on that are not Jesus? And the list of like weights to put down was like really terrifying, because it's all the things that I just feel like I need to like keep going. But I wanted to share that I felt really encouraged because as I was journaling, I realized like those words are like, put aside every weight. It's like Jesus was telling me, you think you really need these things and it's terrifying to let them go, but like I actually want you to live lightly. Like my yoke is easy, my burden is light. And so you feel like giving these things up or like going out of these ways you've always operated is gonna destroy you or be awful, but actually like I'm wanting to lighten you and free you. And so yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's hard, but so good. And I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for y'all.
Yay.
So yeah.
Wow. It's so wonderful to hear your thoughts from the journey. That's so, so fun. Oh, beautiful. He's gonna take your things you're holding now and you're gonna become, we were talking about earlier, like you're losing all your weight in the spirit, becoming nimble in him, right? You're dropping baggage. He's going to put things in your hands that are yours to hold. And when you hold those things, you're going to change the world around you everywhere you go. It's so wild. The letting go part is scary, but when you find out why you did it months down the road, because you've really done it, he's going to put things in your hands that will blow you away, that you've known about, but you didn't understand how you were going to get there. And no one gave you the map, because the map is a man. He is the way. It's so exciting. This is so fun to
good.
watch. Thank you for sharing. Wow. You guys. Hey, wasn't that awesome? If you enjoyed that, if that lights you on fire like it lights me on fire, there is going to be so much more of this content on this YouTube channel. Please hit subscribe. And I hope that you are just on fire, like I'm on fire, listening to the practical, tangible ways we can bring our kids into the reality of Jesus Christ and watch them go on this journey of being living, breathing redemption, because we've been that for them. What a privilege. This was a blast today. I really hope you enjoyed this. Click subscribe. We'll see you next time.